All right, welcome to Guarantee News on a Wednesday. It is June 5th, 2024. June 5th, 2024. I didn't film on Monday. I'm not even going to make an excuse, but I will make excuses for today. I'm tired. Like, physically, I'm sore, and I'm tired. I could go to sleep right now for the night. But I told myself, and I've been telling everybody who's been watching on stream, I'm focusing on consistency. I'm trying to be consistent, and part of that is doing Guarantee News every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 p.m. for the next 5 weeks. So that's what I'm going to do. This is Guarantee News on a Wednesday. We're going to do this the same way we've done every Guarantee News. We're going to play a couple songs, and then we're going to get right into the show. It's not going to be a long one today because I don't have much to talk about, and like I said, I'm tired. But let's get right to the episode. The first song we're going to do today, I fucked the camera up. The first song we're going to do today is He Say, She Say by K500 featuring Mono Mike.
Grammarly is a digital writing assistant software.
But before you guys get to hear that, you guys have to watch this Grammarly premium fucking ad. All right, let's go.
Shorty don't fall. I really had to tell Shorty don't fall. Unless you bring the light skin friend with curly hair. Yeah, that's what I like. Yeah. Told little baby I'm a real nigga. Can't fuck with he say or she say. Man down, I hit him with that AK. Gun down, run down, we caught that nigga broad day. Niggas gon' cap, they be acting like it's Broadway. Smoking on some cookie with that ice cream sorbet. Bad bitch with me and she look just like Lorray. Niggas they be losing cause them niggas never scoring. Load up the bus but we not going touring. She got a visa, not banking, she foreign. 223s and I ain't talking about Jordan. When I eat the chicken, only chicken eat is Jordans. Off-white ones, only time I wear Jordans. 500 gang drive like Jeff Gordon. Free my niggas that is still locked with the warden. Rich nigga on my fucking fit is your mortgage. On my fit, yeah, I spend it on your mortgage. She with me off Percocet, said that I got perfect sex. Rich nigga was born to flex since I was on VHS. Now my neck on VBS, got drugs like I'm CVS. Mama want a meal too, that's why I don't get no rest. That's why I don't even sleep, on the move, can't even think. I was all alone, but helped you out, look what you did to me. Had to leave you on, cause this shit ain't what it seemed to be. Addicted to the lifestyle, you look like a fiend to me. Benji's bleed, watch the doves cry. How does it feel to watch my love die? Took every risk for you, I did it, I don't know why. But now my hoes through the roof, talking sky high. Foreign after foreign, don't speak my language. We breaking law, we ain't cared if it's sanctioned. Niggas be fake, but this a different type fugazi. Claudio diamonds, why your stones looking so hazy? Smoke on that dope till I'm Chinese. I already need visors, swerving the coupe with the high beams. I do the dash like high speed, she drinking up like high C. Days low, don't try me. I'm on no boat, nigga, somewhere where your wife be. Yo niggas is snitching, who you kidding? Get them going good riddance. I was in the trap moving pigeons. You was in the trap moving midget. White bitch stick, move the coke, call it Bridget.
Yeah, now check it. Hit from the back, grab a neck like I'm wrestling. Yeah, now check it. You know what's up, girl, I'm in a cut like infections. Hey, lil' mama, heard you wanna be mine. Ella mama know my dreams number 9. Connected with the guap, yeah, we gotta intertwine. You would think he blind, but my brother throwing signs. Now check it. Hit from the back, grab a neck like I'm wrestling. Yeah, now check it. You know what's up, girl, I'm in a cut like infections.
That's lame. All right, we're going to do one more song, and then we're going to get right into the show. Let's see if it's going to give us an ad. It did. All right, let's see. All right. This is like the new song that I feel like, this is like the song that I'm starting to stream off with, like for the last like 5 or 6 times that I've done the stream. This is So Fi by K500. This is off his new album, Walk World 2. Came out about a week and a half ago now.
Bitch ain't worth a dime, that's probably why she. Bitch ain't worth a dime, that's probably why she penny pinching. Nigga, I could die right now, yo bitch gon' treat you like Will Smith. Nigga, I ain't worried about none of my white boys shooting like Rick Smith. I'm fresh as it gets, and your little bitch won't peel me out this Rick spit. God forgive me, know they truly filled with envy, I don't blame. Need a halftime show like Usher Raymond. I'm on half of a cup with a walk chaser. I can't even stand these niggas, I wouldn't tell no lie. I'm tryna get high, I'm finna pour this deuce when I get in so far. Yeah. AF Dub ain't fucking with me. I'm so popped I can pop a wheel. Niggas fan do, but I'm tryna hit a ticket. My price can't drop the ticket. Yo bitch, y'all bitch, these bossy trippin'. Her pops was missing, and I was tryna get her a man, but she can't even keep her a nigga. Baby, I'm winning. I'm opted out with my niggas, and we on the route to the millions. She choosing niggas that got a little motion, cause she know I don't do shit for attention. Spend a little money and burger the last name the nigga don't ever mention. Honestly, I had love for her, but I love Lil Waukesha more. I do. How the walk be giving me growth. I know a little bitch so bad I get geek whenever she posts. Yeah, if he can head a little more, I told him we up in the scope. Yeah, I told him we done when I say it. Baddest ones be in and out the club. I wonder who gon' say. Got my girl in the store, and she done spent like 2K. She passed out 20 francs with capital jeans, my pants from Shibuya. You know I can't do nothing basic. Show these niggas how to run it up. This my little course, my demonstration. Make your move, and once you make your move, don't move with hesitation. Show me love, ain't got no option. If she look, she took our promise. Outside with the crooks and robbers. I got OG still on college. Call me if you got a problem. I pop my shit in designer. Bitch, we don't need no AP, cause all our shit is perfect timing. Bitch ain't worth a dime, that's probably why she penny pinching. Nigga, I could die right now, yo bitch gon' treat you like Will Smith. Nigga, I ain't worried about none of my white boys shooting like Rick Smith. I'm fresh as it gets, and your little bitch won't peel me out this Rick fit. God forgive me, know they truly filled with envy, I don't blame. Need a halftime show like Usher Raymond. I'm on half of a cup with a walk chaser. I can't even stand these niggas, I wouldn't tell no lie. I'm tryna get high, I'm finna pour this deuce when I get in so far. Hey, if Dub ain't fucking with me.
All right, that is it for the little song intros. Again, my name is Garrett Sims. This is Guaranteed News on a Wednesday, June 5th, 2024. If you're watching for a second, minute, whole episode, just a segment, I appreciate it.
Power. Use it.
Bear with me.
You need to send them in.
I hope my shit don't fuck around and get whatchamacallit just off that. But yeah, this is Guaranteed News on a Wednesday. If this is your first time watching Guaranteed News, this is just me sitting in my room in my parents' house talking about shit that I want to talk about. I try to keep Guaranteed News to like things that kind of interest me or things that I think people need to know about. I try to do a hard news story. Pause. Hard news being like important world news, country news, just serious news. I try to do at least one hard news story, one sports news, one entertainment news, and one show and movie news story an episode, or not even that anymore. Those are just the topics that I cover or that I try to focus on, and then I just, whatever's going on in those four realms at the time that I'm recording that I'm interested in, that's what I just talk about. So for the first topic of today, we have a hard news story, pause, and it is Hunter Biden on trial. All right, so President Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, is currently on trial. Bear with me. Shit, my bad. Is currently on trial for basically gun possession or for gun charges. So I'm going to read an Associated Press article. I'm going to go in a little bit about the case, what's going on with it, and talk a little bit. So, you know, there's a couple reasons why I feel like I should cover this case. I mean, obviously, first, because it's news, but second, because for the last 2 weeks, I've been covering the Donald Trump case. Donald Trump just got convicted for falsifying business records, paying off a porn star, basically. He was convicted of all 34 accounts, and he is the first former president to be a felon. And, you know, I like to say I have my opinions, and sometimes I think by watching Garrett's Guaranteed News or anything, you can probably see my opinions. But I do try to be objective, so I don't want my opinions to be obvious. So Donald Trump had this very this very popular case that everyone was talking about that you had to look at, and I was covering it personally on my platform, and now Joe Biden on basically the other side, he's having he's having a case that is also very fucking big, very fucking popular, and I feel like I would be wrong to not talk about it because they're honestly both fried. So yeah, basically what's going on is Hunter Biden, Joe Biden's, I don't know if he's the youngest or the oldest, but he's Joe Biden's only living son, is basically being charged with 3 felonies of owning a gun. He was basically owning a gun when he's not supposed to, and this is basically what happened, right? Or this is basically what he's being charged with. So whatever year it was, this Associated Press article is going to clear up some of the details, but I kind of want to just get to like the main things. So, okay. Hunter Biden has like a drug problem. He's a crackhead. Like this is something, or he's a former crackhead. This is something that everyone said. Like I'm not saying anything crazy, and let me not trying to yap. So I use crackhead as to not yap, but I'm still yapping. But let me just get to it. Basically, Hunter Biden has a long drug problem. We've known that. Like that's been something that hella people have talked about, right? And he went to go buy a gun, and apparently when you buy a gun, whatever state he was in, we're going to read that too, but apparently when you buy a gun, there's a question that I ask you, like, do you have a drug problem? And he said no on that, and they're basically charging him with a felony for that. He's being charged with lying to a gun distributor, saying that he doesn't have a drug problem when he knows he does. He's being charged for lying on the actual form, saying he doesn't have a gun problem when he knows he does, and he's being charged for actually having possession of the gun, even though he only had possession of the gun for 11 days, right? So this is basically what it's about. He was basically asked on a form, hey, do you have a drug problem? And he said, no, I don't have a drug problem. And now he's being charged with 3 felonies because it's like, hey, bro, you're a crackhead, and you've said you're a crackhead, so you have a drug problem. And with prosecutors, the people who are trying to like put Hunter Biden or get him convicted, I want to say put him in jail, but the people who are trying to get Hunter Biden convicted, what they're basically using, their main thing is Hunter Biden's autobiography or his memoir, whatever one is the one where you write it yourself, whatever. But they're using it as their main source of material because in his memoir, he's talking about his drug problems. So they're basically saying, hey, you have this book that's outlining your drug problems. And I think he got the gun around like 2016, 2017. And they're basically lining up the years in the book. This is what the prosecution is doing. They're lining up the years in Hunter Biden's book where he's talking about his drug problems with the time that he bought that gun to basically line it up and saying, hey, you're talking in this book about how you had drugs. So you obviously thought you had a drug problem during the same time when you bought this gun. So you lied and said you didn't have a drug problem. When you knew you had a drug problem, you still had a drug problem. You're a fucking felon, right? So that's basically what the case is, right? What could happen if he's arrested? Or if he's convicted, the Associated Press article says the same thing, but he can be convicted for 28 years, but it's the same thing with the Trump thing. Like, he can be put to jail, but what is the judge gonna do? And it's kind of one of those things. Are they gonna put him in jail or they're not? Same with Trump. I doubt that they put him in jail. So that's what happens that's kind of what could happen if he's convicted, right? Now, what Hunter Biden and his lawyers and his people are saying is, look, and it's semantics before I say anything, but basically this is what Hunter Biden's defense team is saying. The thing is asking, do you have a drug problem? At the time that he filled that out, Hunter Biden does not feel like he had a drug problem. It's not asking, have you ever had a drug problem? Because if it's asking if you ever, then of course you have to say yes. So they're basically playing the semantics of basically before he bought the gun, he had a drug problem. And after he bought, years after he bought the gun, he relapsed and went back into that drug problem again. But during that time where he bought the gun, those couple of years, he was clean. So he didn't feel in his head he was somebody that had a drug problem. So it's basically semantic, man, right? Like, no, he didn't feel like in his head he had a drug problem. So let's go through this article. Well, first I'm going to give a couple opinions, and then I want to go through the article. Basically, the article just to fact check like everything that I'm saying. But basically, this is kind of what's going on. He obviously lied, right? Like if Hunter Biden is looking at a piece of paper and it says, do you have a drug problem? I don't care when it is. You should say yes, because even if you don't even if you're not actively in that drug problem, there's still the potential for you to relapse, right? There's still the potential for you to be introduced to that drug or that substance that you had a problem with, and you could go back down that line. That's why they say it's a never-ending battle with addiction. So obviously he's lying. It's the same thing with the Trump thing, where it's like, obviously Trump paid the money for Stormy Daniels to not tell her story and told people that it was a business expense. Obviously Hunter Biden bought a gun, knew that he had a drug problem, and lied. He did what any normal person would do. He lied and said, I don't have a drug problem, when you know you have a drug problem, so you can get what you want. In this case, he wanted the gun. Now, this is the reason, this is like the spice and the reason that of why I wanted to talk about this story with Hunter Biden now being charged for these felony gun charges. It's because I think it's very similar to the overall reason why Trump is being charged, and it shows where American politics is in the world right now with the fucking election coming up in November. Trump wasn't charged because they wanted it wasn't charged to like for justice and to like, oh, you can't do this. No, it was to make him look really bad and to make the perception of him look terrible before the election. Why is Hunter Biden being charged with this gun thing, or why are Republicans or the right making such a big deal out of it? It's to make Joe Biden look bad. It's to make his family look bad. And I think this is something that is interesting with politics, where I should do more history on just politics itself, but just as I've gotten older, I pay attention to politics. It seems like now it really is kind of them leaning on it being a popularity show of who can we get Americans to think is worse, so then we can vote for him. It's not really about like, oh, here's what I think I can fix. Here's what I think is best. Here's what I think I can do to make the country better. It's throwing dirt on this guy's name. And I think politics probably, if I had to guess, was a little bit of both, where you're going to obviously throw shit on the other person, but you're obviously going to also try to make yourself sound really good and tell your plan for the country. Now I feel like at the largest amounts, it's just throwing dirt on the other person's name. And I don't think this isn't some big story about trying to make gun laws better, or Hunter Biden is breaking this law and it's not right and we need to it's look at Joe Biden's crackhead son that is lying about being a crackhead, and he thinks he's going to get away with it because he is the president's son. We can't let him get away with it. And in theory, that is a fact. He shouldn't be able to get away with this. But like, it's also funny to me, or I think it's also interesting to me about like, if you're going to be mad about this, to know why you're mad about this, right? Like, you shouldn't be on your high horse like saying like, oh, I'm definitely not gonna vote for Joe Biden, or I don't fuck with Joe Biden. There's a million reasons why I feel like you could argue that you don't want to vote for Joe Biden, and I would give him to you, but like, Joe Biden's son is a crackhead and lied about a gun isn't one of them. So that's pretty much the story. I'm going to go through this Associated Press article, and basically it's just going to touch up on some of the things I said, add a little bit of clarity, and I just like, at this point, bro, if you've watched any Guarantee News, you know, I mean, I am a journalist at heart. I say all the time, everyone's a journalist in today's world, but like, I think of myself as a journalist at heart. So like, I always like reading articles. I like news. So that's another reason why I'm going to read this. Like, I did yap a little bit, and I think I'm going to watch it back. I think I explained pretty well, like, kind of like what's going on. But I still want to read this article just to like go over some things. Maybe there are some places, and I'm going to skim/read because there's just a couple like real things. But all right, let's get through this. And I didn't say the trial started on Tuesday, yesterday. It's Wednesday. So today was the second day. So this article goes over the first day. So we're going to go over the first day, and I'll on Friday's stream, I'll go more into like some other stuff. But just for now, for the time being, I'm just going to leave it. Fuck, if I can get my shit how I want. Bear with me, y'all. Bear with me. Like, this shit's fucking up. Come on, bro. Come on. There we go. And then get this out of here. Alright. Let's see how's it looking. Yeah, like that. So, prosecutors spend first day of testimony in Hunter Biden's gun trial detailing his drug problems. So, yeah, this is a major thing they're going to do with this, just to make him look like a real druggie. Federal prosecutors on Tuesday painted President Joe Biden son Hunter as deceptive and driven by addiction, a man whose dark habits ensnared loved ones and who knew what he was doing when he lied on a federal form to purchase a gun in 2018. So this was in 2018, all right? 2018 when he purchased the gun. All right. So bear with me while I find what I feel like we need. In the short time he had the gun, he did nothing with it, and the weapon was never even loaded, attorney Abby Lowell said in his opening statement. So Abby Lowell, and another thing with this is, like, I like to get the characters. I like to have pictures. So he's Joe Biden's attorney. Let's see. Yep, he's Joe Biden's attorney, Abby Lowell. And let's keep in mind, these are Biden's people. So this is who Biden's getting. Abby Lowell. He looks like somebody that would be the defense attorney for Joe Biden's son. He looks like an old, rich white man who looks very mean, very opinionated, but looks like he knows a lot about law. I would trust him. He looks like someone I would trust to get me off. So there's that. So this is Abby Lowell. That is the guy that is defending Biden. Biden, Hunter Biden. So you will see that he is not guilty, Lowell said. Hunter Biden has been charged with 3 felonies stemming from the purchase of the Colt revolver when he was, according to his memoir, addicted to crack. I'm sorry, it's always fun to say crack like that. All right. He has been accused of lying to a federally licensed gun dealer, making a false claim on the application by saying he was not a drug dealer user, and illegally having the gun for 11 days. So that's how I was saying. He was lied for lying to the guy's face, saying that I'm not a drug dealer or I don't have a drug problem when he's done. When he did, he's charged for lying on the form, and he's charged for having the gun for 11 days. And this point specifically makes me also want to make another point that's for another day. But another interesting thing about the American law system, it seems like you do one thing and you get charged for 10 things. Like they tack on them charges. Like, if you know anyone or you've ever been charged and you like start reading that shit, you're like, I did all that. It's another conversation for another day, but it's like you do like one thing and they're charge you for like 7, 12 other, bro, it's fried. It's fried, like, reading those things if you've ever done it for a friend. But moving on. So, okay. The first day of testimony in the case dredged up painful memories for the president and his family and revealed newly and highly personal details about some of their struggles with addiction as the 2024 election looms. For part of the day, the First Lady watched from the front row of the courtroom. So this is the way that it's affecting their family, which is something that, there's so many different ways to look at this. I kind of went into it a couple minutes ago about how this isn't about, like, justice. This is about making the Bidens look bad, and for the Republicans to have something to where it's fucking war. Oh, you just did this to Trump. Now we're going to do this to your son. But another thing about this is it is sad for Biden being like an old man who has a son that died and another son that died due to cancer. I'm pretty sure the article says it. And then you have to have your other son that had a drug problem, and the drug problem, some of it stemmed from his brother dying. Your son, your son's brother, your son, some of it stemmed from that. Like, all of this is going to be out for the whole world to see in front of your family. Biden's old as shit. Like, this can't be good on his mind. Like, just the human aspect of this too is just kind of fucked up. Like, damn. Like, bro, you have one son that's dead, and then you have another son that has a drug problem and if you know anyone that has a drug problem, like, that shit is, like, funny to talk about in one way, but in another way, it's not funny at all, and it's very serious. So you feel for just that, at least I do as a human, where that's like, yeah, that is kind of fucked up. Those situations fucked up, but let's keep going. Attorneys said jurors would hear testimony from the president's brother, James Biden, who was close with Hunter and helped his nephew through rehab stints in the past. They will also hear how Hallie Biden, the widow of the president's late son, Beau, also became addicted to crack during a brief relationship with Hunter. And this is another thing that I don't get to, like this. They also would hear how Hallie Biden, the widow of the president's late son, Beau, who I was just talking about, died, also became addicted to crack during a brief relationship with Hunter. A brief relationship. Please, like, bro, like, I really hope this isn't what I think it means when they say that she became addicted to crack after a brief relationship with Hunter. But I hope this isn't. We're gonna keep up, like, covering this, and if it is, I'll cover it, but I'm not even gonna mention it. If you know what I'm thinking about, But if this is some shit. I'll come in here and talk about this completely different. But and when they say like this sentence is big to me. This sentence is big to me for the couple. Like when whoever testifies about Hallie when they testified, they will also hear about Hallie Biden, the widow of the president's late son Beau. So Hallie and Beau were married. So basically, it's Hunter's stepsister or whatever the fuck they call it. The widow of the president's late son, Beau, also became addicted to crack during a brief relationship with Hunter. I hope it's just a friendship. Hallie took the gun from Hunter, who tossed it into the garbage at a nearby market, afraid what he might do to it. So maybe it's kind of going on that. There's a lot in this article, a little bit of where it's leaning on what could be meant by these words, but maybe he's like thinking about killing himself. The weapon was later found by someone collecting cans and eventually turned over to the police. And then from there, that's probably how so many people found out about it. The president was in Washington on Tuesday announcing an immigration order and hosting a picnic for congressional leaders before a scheduled departure for France later that day. He will be gone the rest of the week. Jill Biden planned to meet him in Europe. Okay, the president's allies are worried about the toll the trial may take on the elder Biden, who's long been protective and deeply concerned about his only living son and his sobriety, and who must now watch as those past mistakes are publicly scrutinized. And this is kind of what I was talking about, where, you know, you have a son that's dead, you're very old, you have a son that has problems with addiction, that is a lifelong battle, like I also again said, and now the whole world has to see it. That can't be easy on him. Prosecutors on Tuesday spent hours on Hunter Biden's drug problem, using his own words and missives to show the depth of the addiction and to suggest it was still ongoing when he brought the gun. So, I mean, this is basically saying they spent the first day basically painting him as a drug addict. Like, here's your book, here's the down, ugly, dirty stuff that you dealt with the addiction. You're a drug addict, and you always will be a drug addict, and you knew you were a drug addict when you bought that gun. That's basically what they spent. That's basically what the prosecutors spent the whole first day doing. They allowed messages. I'm just gonna skim through the rest of this. This is talking about like text messages that the prosecutors found from his phone. I guess he was texting Haley. Hunter replied less than a minute later, informing her that he was sleeping on a car smoking crack on 4th Street in Rodney. There's my truth, he added in a follow-up text. The funny, again, there's a million different fucking lenses you can look at this, but the childish part of me wants to say that's pretty funny. Like, bro, I'm sleeping on a car smoking crack, and that's my fucking truth. Very sad. Very sad. Other people would also say kind of funny, but mainly sad. All right. So, during cross-examination, the FBI agent testified that Hunter Biden sent fewer messages about seeking drugs during in October 2018, around the time when he purchased the gun. Then in February 2019, a later period in which Lowe described his client as struggling significantly with addiction. So basically, what the defense Hunter Biden people is what they're gonna try to say is that during the time when he bought this gun, he was not struggling with addiction. Therefore, he in his own head did not feel like he had a drug problem, so he was not lying. This is going to be up to the jury to really just decide what the fucking, like, you would just need a copy of what that form that you fill out says. Like, and let me get into it, because there's a paragraph that says this a little bit, but you need a copy of what that form says. If you say, if it truly does say, do you have a drug problem, then I would say, just being objective, Hunter Biden's going to get away with it, because obviously, realistically, he lied and he knew he had a drug problem. But if we're going on semantic, man, and that's the way America works, that's the way American court system works, technically, I don't feel like I had a drug problem because I wasn't taking drugs actively at that time. That's what I think it's going to come down to. I'm curious as if I said I'm not going to make a guess on if I think he'll be guilty or not. I'm going to go with guilty. No, I'm going to go with not guilty. I don't think he'll be found guilty because I think let's just keep going. Let's keep going, and I'll save that. Luella also caught in a question though. She's with the dresser. Yeah, he he narrates his return to Delaware around the time of the gun purchase and his descent into drugs following the death of his brother in 2015 from cancer. Like, shit like that is just like, you don't want that in the courts for everyone to see. That's fucking sad. His sister was watching, dabbed eyes. She was sad. His mom left, sad for the family. This is basically saying that, like, prosecutors gave him a deal where he could have gotten off, but he pleaded not guilty because he's arguing that he's being unfairly targeted by the Justice Department after Republicans decried the now defunct plea deal as special treatment for the Democratic son. So basically, Hunter Biden, they gave him the opportunity to plead guilty. He didn't because he feels like he's being unfairly charged, which he may be, but he took it to trial. No one is allowed to lie on a federal forum like that. Even Hunter Biden, prosecutor Derek Hines said he crossed the line when he chose to buy a gun and lied about a federal background check. The defendant's choice to buy a gun is why we are here, and that's the prosecutors. He's probably a Republican if you look into it. And let's look up his. I want to see what he looks like too. So he's seen Abby Lowell, who's on Biden's side, the defense. Let's look up Derek Hines, who is basically, he is the prosecutor trying to get Hunter Biden convicted. Oh, Jesus Christ. Skyly. Looks like the type of guy that tells the teacher that he caught you cheating off of him. Yeah, I definitely don't want him to win. Yeah, his face. Is that him? Is this really him? Yeah, nah, this guy looks kind of untrustworthy. I'm completely going off looks. I know you can't base a person, but I know you can't base somebody based on a look by their. I know you can't judge a book based on their cover. I don't trust him, and I don't like him. Just off his looks. He could be a great guy. No disrespect to you, Derek Hines. But all right. So yeah, basically he's like saying, no, you can't get special treatment because you are the president's son, which is, I agree with 1,000%. That's fair. When the defendant filled out that form, he knew he was a drug addict, and prosecutors don't have to prove he was using the day he purchased the firearm, Hines said. That is what this case is leaning on, basically. Prosecutors don't have to prove he was using the day he purchased the firearm. Lowell, on the other hand, said, would have been really good right here. Lowell, on the other hand, said the form asks whether you are a drug user. It does not say, have you ever been? And he suggested the president's son did not think of himself as someone with a drug problem when he purchased the gun. Semantic man. Lies, but good semantic man. This is lawyers doing lawyers' work. Obviously, he knew he was a drug addict. And from just a couple lines up there, when he got rid of the gun because he was scared of what he would do with it, he's going through a lot of things. Yeah, that's obviously a bold-faced lie, but it's good lawyer work, it seems like. So yeah, his state of mind should be considered at the time of the purchase, not what he wrote in a book in 2021. If convicted, he faces up to 25 years in prison, though first-time offenders do not get anywhere near the maximum, and it's unclear whether the judge would give him time behind bars. Same thing with Trump. First-time offender, unclear if the judge would do it, probably won't. The trial is unfolding just days after Donald Trump, the presumptive Republican presidential nominee, was convicted of 34 felonies in New York City. The two criminal cases are unrelated, but their proximity underscores how the courts have taken center stage during the 2024 campaign. This is basically getting on what I was saying a couple minutes ago about how this is basically about making Hunter Biden and Joe Biden, but really Joe Biden and his family, look awful, look terrible, look trashy, look dirty, the same way that the Democrats made Trump look dirty, trashy by making him a felon 3 weeks ago or like a week ago. This isn't about justice. This isn't about law. This isn't about gun laws, just like the Trump thing wasn't about making sure people aren't falsifying business records. It's about perception from the American public 5 months before an election. That's what it's about. And as the months go on, we're going to get more things where these two sides are going to be trying to make each other look bad, but not making it look like they're the ones making each other look bad. Stay with me when I say that, but I'm not repeating it because I kind of lost off of it. Yeah, but that's pretty much the end of it. And Hunter Biden also faces a trial in California in September on charges on failing to pay $1.4 million in taxes. Both cases were to have been resolved through the deal with prosecutors last July, the culmination of years-long investigation into his business dealings. So this is the last thing that I want to say with this whole Hunter Biden trial. This is the last thing I want to say. Well, there's a couple things I want to say, but these are that. All these rich Democratic, Republican, you should just know this. They're all breaking the law, and they're all doing crazy shit, and they're all like not for justice. Like, that's clear, right? Like, that's clear. He didn't pay like 1.4 million for taxes. I won't say he didn't pay, but that's what he's on another case right now right now. And he's lying on federal forms about a gun. I mean, everybody does that. And Trump is having sex with porn stars and paying them off. Like, this is what I want everybody to know. Both of them both sides are liars. Both sides do fucked up shit. You just got to decide what side is going to do the best to keep your life the way that it is. Or if you hate your life the way that it is, like most people in America probably do, which side is going to do the best to make your life better. But do not vote for an American president based off of like altruism, like who's the better person, who's gonna bring justice to America, who's gonna be like neither side, but they both have their agenda, they both have things they want to push, and most of the agenda is not gonna be to help middle class to lower class people on either side. Like, this is clear just by what's going on in the courts. We can see that. All right, that's it. I'm gonna continue to cover this I'm going to continue to cover this like I did the Trump thing, the Trump case, and we'll see what's going to happen. It's in day 2 today. I just covered day 1 where they basically, like I said, tried to make him just seem like a drug addict, the prosecutors, and where the defense basically said you can't take a book that he wrote in 2021 to hold him to something he did in 2018. So we're going to keep up with that, and that's all I have with that first story. Before we get to the second story, I want to do a little bit of a pause. I don't know if you guys may be watching, have I paid attention to this, but like, do you see my braids? What is that? You see these? You see these parts? Do you see that? I got the best braider in the city. Shout out to Darian's Braids. Y'all not fucking with it. Do y'all? Hold on, let me make sure. All right, sounds good. Do y'all see? Y'all see the squiggles? Y'all see the squiggles in the part? Y'all see how it come? Y'all see the length? Y'all see the fucking length? Yeah, don't play with that. I just wanted to show y'all that real quick because my hair hadn't been braided the last couple streams. I wanted to just show y'all your part's not fucking with mine. Your part's not fucking with mine. Your hair braider's not fucking with mine. I just wanted to show y'all that real quick. My bad. I didn't mean to shit on them. For the next story, and I just want to talk about this for a second. What are we at? 38 minutes. I'm going to talk about this for literally. Dr. Anthony Fauci, who, if you don't know, was basically like when COVID was happening, he was like the dude who like ran the CDC. He was like the face of like COVID when COVID was happening. It like stay 6 feet away. Whatever we needed to know about COVID when everybody was scared and nobody knew about COVID, we were getting it from Dr. Fauci. He is also on trial right now. Let's see. He was on trial on Monday for how he handled COVID. And the only thing I want to talk about with this is, no, I'm not even going to talk about anything with this. All I'm going to say is I definitely think you should read about this. I definitely think you should know about this. And I think you should pay attention to why he is on trial, what both Democrats and Republicans respectively are saying. But it's interesting right now that during the case of a pandemic that almost everybody can agree with, it wasn't handled right. Something was weird. And we as a country and a world weren't prepared to handle an epidemic or a pandemic like that. The man that led all that, he's now on trial and having to go ahead of Congress. I won't make any opinions on that, but I just think it's interesting, and I think you should look up on it if you haven't read about it because it's fucking interesting. This is a CNN article that I'm seeing by Jean, Christian, Elise, Hammond, Antoinette Radford, Maureen Caldhurry. Takeaways from Fauci's testimony at contentious House hearing at COVID-19 pandemic. Go read that. If you like Fox, go read a Fox article. Go read whatever you like, but just try to get both sides. I think this is something that you should just know about. Moving on. All right. So, like, with sports, like, let me go in. Like, is there, like, the rest of the stuff that I just could talk about but don't have to talk about? Yeah, let me get an idea of what I want to do. Do I want to? All right. I'm going to talk about the NBA Finals a little bit, and then I'll probably move on. You know, I'm going to... Hold on, let me read this text. One of you. Why just one of you? Okay. My bad, y'all. I'm looking at my phone, but y'all... I almost said that shit out loud. That sounded crazy. My bad. That sounded so crazy. I just realized that. Sometimes, like, with the streaming, like, I could stream for, like, 2 hours, but then I don't want to yap. This is the part of the stream where I just feel like I can chill. And I'm proud of myself that I even streamed. Because I'm just getting together. You can skip through a couple minutes if you want to know. If you want to get back to the show. I'm just deciding if I'm going to talk about anything else. We're going to do it. But I can't. This is like a rule to myself. I really can't miss another fucking stream. Because there would be so many stories that where I want to talk about them. And then I'll be like, the day I'm supposed to talk about them in stream, I won't stream. And I'll say, oh, I'll talk about them the next time I stream. But then it just be too much shit happening. Too many stories. Like, I'm going to run through some of the stuff that, like, I've seen, like, that happened that I wanted to talk about. Some of them. But, like, I'm not missing another stream. CJ Stroud on $1 million worth of game. Basically, everyone's been talking about it because I guess he said multiple fried things. He said he'd rather have Eli Manning's career than Aaron Rodgers, which I get because of the Super Bowl. He said if Matthew Stafford was on the Packers or had the same team that Aaron Rodgers had, he'd have more Super Bowls. He talked shit about the Colts. The CJ Stroud interview with $1 million worth of game is entertaining. You should go watch it. The only thing is I want to say with that is I'd probably rather have... I mean, if you want to go over the team thing or like the as far as like the Aaron Rodgers versus Eli Manning career, it's do you want to go over wins, like Super Bowl wins, or do you want to go with, and let me not have Stephen A. Smith talking. Let me make myself bigger. It's like basically, do you want to go with wins, or do you want to go with being the better player and having the better talent? If you want to go with being the better player, being the better talent, having the more MVPs, you're going to go with Aaron Rodgers. If you want to go for the greatness with the wins, you're going to go with Eli Manning. I personally would go with Eli Manning. Do I think Matthew Stafford would have had 3 or 4 Super Bowls if he was Aaron Rodgers' position? Fuck no. That's a crazy take. That's just my opinion. I know CJ Stroud knows more about football than me, and I know that he's more of a savant than me about the game and probably knows more about it historically. That's fair. Again, I'm just some person giving their opinion. I do not fucking think Matthew Stafford would have more Super Bowls if he was on the Packers. No fucking way. And all the talk about the Colts, if you know me, I'm from Indianapolis. That's why I was in here shouting about Kalen Clark a couple days ago. And I was right about that Kalen Clark shit. And I streamed, let me not even get off that. But no, I'm from Indianapolis. CJ Stroud is basically just talking shit about the Colts. Saying that, like, the Colts defensive players were talking shit. They'd be talking hella shit, and they can't talk shit when he dusted us last year when he fucked us up. All I'm going to say to that is I respect CJ Stroud. He's entertaining. I love every black young quarterback, and he had the best rookie of all time. But we'll see. That's all I'm going to say for that is we'll see. I like the confidence. I like the talk. We'll see. He's going to have to play Anthony Richardson. He's going to have to see Zaire. He's going to have to see EJ Speed. He's going to have to see the Colts. And that's what I'm going to say about with that. Let's see. And for this one, I'm gonna put it up on screen a little bit. Or let me just go to the article. Did I save it? Did I save it? No, I didn't. But Simone Biles won her 9th national championship. Yeah. So, Biles won her 9th national all-around title on Sunday night to close out the U.S. Gymnastics Championships in Fort Worth, Texas. She won the gold medal in all 4 apparatuses and was nearly perfect throughout the entire competition as she gears up for a 3rd Olympics run in this summer in Paris. The big thing that I wanted to say with this, there's a couple things that I wanted to say with this because this story, like I read an article about it and there was like a couple really cool things with this, and I really like Simone Biles, and I'm going to support black people 24/7. I'm going to support black people in 24/7, especially black people doing things or being in places and dominating in places where we're not usually seen. And from my thought process, from what I know, that's gymnastics. So yeah, I fuck with Simone Biles. So the first thing I want to say with this is a couple years ago when she was going through like that mental health situation and it was causing her to get like the spins, which is basically in gymnastics when you go in the air and you do all those twists and turns, you lose where you are. You lose where you are in the air, where your body is. And for the average person, I do a backflip or a front flip and I forget where the fuck I am. I just kind of black out and do it. But for them, like just hearing them explain that, like you have to be mentally good. They know where their bodies are at. They have complete control, which they have to, or they wouldn't be able to do it. So just thinking about how her mental would have been for her to be going up in the air, doing all those twists and then losing herself, terrifying. For her to come back from that and to be in another Olympics and to win her 9th championship, she's the fucking GOAT. Testament to her ability, mental health is in her mental strength, her ability as an athlete. I'm just impressed with Simone Biles just with that, like being able to come through and have mental problems and then get back to the top of your craft. Like getting to the top of your craft, having mental problems, going down. She had to leave like the last Olympics, or like she didn't finish. It was crazy. And then now to be back here, testament to her work, testament to how talented and strong she is. Shout out to Simone Biles, and I'm sure she's gonna win hella gold medals at the Paris Olympics. There's another thing with that is there was like another girl on, I forget, I don't even want to say, but there is basically another woman who is competing. I don't know what country she was from. I think she is American. So if she, and if I'm wrong about that, I am sorry, but I think she's American. She was basically kind of dealing with the same things during that championship that just happened on Sunday. And Simone Biles kind of took that veteran mentality and kind of helped her and talked her through it to help her finish it out. I fucking love that is that you see someone that's struggling with the same things as you, and instead of just watching them or being like, fuck it, it's a competition, you got, and help them, and you give them tools and pointers and help them. That's what you're supposed to fucking do when you're a veteran. And when you see someone in the same field as you having trouble, you go and help them and you give them words of encouragement instead of being a fucking hater. I'm not going to say anything. And like, Simone Biles helps gymnast during competition. I want to really give this girl, I want to say her name, give her flowers. Shout out to Simone Biles for helping her. Beyond Gold, Tamar bears as a heroic, and this is just a random article. I'm really going off the cuff right now, so bear with me, because I want to find, because basically she helped this other woman who is competing that was having, she was like fucking up on her run. I don't know what the word for it is, and Simone Biles helped her. I don't want to just say this girl. I don't want to just say I think she's from America. I want to say what country she's from. This is, you guys don't need to see this. I'll go through it fast. Along with the this is talking about how great she is. She had the twisties. That's what it's called. The twisties, an ability for a gymnast to make the required spins for a particular move. Yeah, she had the twisties and she got over it. Okay. Man, it's not talking about it. Fuck it. It's not showing it, but basically, just take my word for it. I promise you I'm right. So we should like Simone Biles not just because of how fucking talented she is and how she's a dog. What's up? You cool? You want to stream? Yeah.
Why you stop?
I mean, nigga, it's live. I can do whatever. What you want?
That's what they be doing on Casa and shit.
type shit. Hell yeah, they can hear. There's nobody watching, but they
Walking
gonna
the
see.
stream, man. Smurbo, nice little setup, you know. I like this.
You about to
Yeah.
here. Let me turn my camera off. Bear with me, y'all. Bear with me. Business. Turn the camera off and turn the mic. Yeah, get a little. We'll get a little for real. No cap. This is $1 million worth of game right here. No cap. $1 million worth of game. Hold on, I'm just gonna turn the microphone off.
Red Bull.
All right, we had a little. What do you call it when somebody comes into the show? We had a special guest star and it comes into the show. Pause. But yeah, basically we shouldn't only fuck with Simone Biles because she's obviously a dominant dog. She's doing shit that nobody else is doing. Her mental health is shining through, and she had a fucking case of the twisties where you lose yourself in the air. Got over it and is coming back and won her NAP championship. And while she's doing that, she's seeing other gymnasts that are going through that problem. She's going and helping them in the moment instead of just watching or being a hater and saying it's not my fucking problem. So shout out to Simone fucking Biles. If you weren't a fan of Simone fucking Biles, you're probably fucking 12, but there should be more of a reason to be more of a fan of her. And there's that. And then C, I'm not going to do it because I want to get off stream soon. Look up the Americans girls gymnasts, like the people who are going to be competing. It's a lot of black girls. And my whole life, it was Gabby Douglas. Then it was Simone Biles. There was one. We had one. She was really cool. She was a dog. Gabby was cool. She was good. Everybody knows that. Gabby used to fuck up a little bit. She was really good. No disrespect to Gabby. Simone was the truth. She's the truth for real. But like the same article that I was reading that was talking about Simone Biles winning was talking about other players, and I kept being surprised by how many young black girls were on the gymnast team. And shout out to that. And now I need the young black men too. And that's all I want to say with that. But yeah, I think this go around with the Olympics, I'm about to be really, really interested in fucking gymnastics. Because that article just the article that I read made me fuck with Simone way more, and it made me fuck with the U.S. gymnast team. I want to see like U.S. gymnast team 2024. Like, I want to see who it is, bro. Like, this isn't... Like, bro, the article that I was just reading... I feel like Team USA... I feel like this is better. This is kind of better. And I don't know all their names. I'm going to... Oh, let me move my... I don't know all their names. I'm going to do this. I'm going to give them the respect they need to. I'm not going to just do this quick. So I'll be talking about gymnastics more. We'll just leave it there. We'll leave it at that. I ran through pretty fast. I mean, I could talk a little bit about, like, if you're living under a rock, like the whole Caitlin Clark first take, Monica McNutt and Stephen A. with that situation, and then Pat McAfee calling her a bitch literally on the next ESPN show, a white bitch. I'm not going to get into all that, bro. I've been streaming for 53 minutes, bro. You heard my opinion on it, bro. If you haven't heard my opinion on it, go back and watch it. Almost everything that I said is what Pat McAfee and all the and is what Pat said, is what Stephen A. had said. Not to say I'm fucking right, but or that I'm thinking these are great ideas, but I'm not gonna go into it again. All I'm gonna say is, bro, can it just be about basketball? I'll just fucking leave it there. Mavericks at Celtics. I got Mavericks winning the series in 6 games. I got Mavericks winning. I got Mavericks winning either game 1 or 2. I have them winning either game 1 or 2, and I have them winning the series in 6. I can talk about it more, but that's all I'm gonna say with that. honestly, that's all I'm gonna do with that's all I'm gonna do with Guaranteed News tonight. Well, the last thing I will say is June, a lot of shows are starting. And I need to stream like every fucking day because I want to do The Boys starts again, House of Dragon starts again, and FX just started a show called Clipped about the Clippers team where Donald Sterling was basically being racist. There's a lot of shows coming out, and I love shows, and I love fucking breaking down shows, and I want to do a fucking thing with each show, and I'm gonna fucking do it. I'm about to start streaming every day. This is what I'm getting out of that. There's so much going on, and I have so much to talk about, and there's no reason for me to not talk and stream every single day. But yeah, I'm gonna give House of Dragons. I'm putting this to myself right now, holding me as my witness. Every episode of The Boys Season 4, House of Dragons Season 2, I'm going to be giving an episode review on. A. And B, that is all for Guaranteed News on a Wednesday on June 5th, 2024. If you watch for a second, thank you. If you watch for a minute, thank you. If you watch for an hour, thank you. Be safe. Enjoy the rest of your week. Look at both sides. And try to be peaceful.